Welcome to Morrison Madness. I'm Don.
I'm LaShelle.
And this is our guest host, Joe.
Guest participant, Joe. Hello.
Guest victim.
Victim, maybe. Maybe a victim. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see lined up in front of us are all of the sandwiches.
Well, not all of the sandwiches, but...
It looks like all of the sandwiches. We have 8 different sandwiches.
Right, 8 different sandwiches.
8 different
Two
sandwiches.
of these are the same sandwich.
Right.
They're just cut in half.
Right. So we're doing a review. I should explain that. For those that are not watching on YouTube, we have 8 different sandwiches here on the table. We ordered from Subway, Which Wich, and Jimmy John's.
Right.
And we ordered from Which Wich and Subway, we could get the hot meatball sub. We could not find a third place in the Iowa City area that had a hot meatball sub. So we decided to go with Jimmy John's as our third place. And from there, we ordered both the Country Club and the Tuna Salad to compare sandwiches from places.
Right.
Right?
Well, and from Subway and Which Wich, we ordered a tuna sandwich.
Right.
And a club sandwich.
Right. So all 3 places we have the tuna and the club. And the club has turkey, ham, and bacon on it.
Yeah.
And I think we had to add bacon to Jimmy John's.
Right.
We'll go through. We'll try and keep it organized. I have a cheat sheet, but it's not real clear. So we'll see how we do.
So to start with, we wanted to talk about the price versus how much food there is.
Yeah.
So you have a tape measure. You were going to measure, right?
Sure, I can measure. So
you can already see the Which Wich sandwich is much bigger.
Right. So the Subway, it's a 12-inch. It's the foot-long sub. And for the meatball marinara sub, it looks like it was $6.49.
Yes.
For a foot-long.
A deal.
I know, right?
Yeah.
For the Which Wich, it is going to the end of that brown bag. It is 14 inches long, and the meatballer was $14.45.
So for 2 more inches,
you have to pay more than twice the amount.
Correct.
Yes. So Which Wich is definitely more expensive between Subway and Which Wich.
Would you consider it an upper crust?
Ah, ha, 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 ha. Do you see what I have to put up with, people? Do you see what I have to put up with?
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Okay, so should we open these up and divvy them out?
Yes. And I think, like this one's, I think is already cut in half. So I think we take a half.
I think the Which Wich might be as well, and we'll take a half. We'll cut them into 4s, and then there'll be a 4th left over.
I would take a half and cut it into thirds.
Oh, okay.
Because we got a lot of sandwiches to eat.
Well,
here.
I know we do.
We can all eat fairly well, but that's a lot.
We're not leaving until all these subs are complete.
We're gonna have you rolled out of here. I almost dropped my phone. We'll just set that up here. All right.
That is a lot of food.
That is a lot of food. We like to eat, though. All right, so I'm cutting this into thirds.
Is it cut in half? Yeah.
It's already cut in half. Joe, are you okay if I touch the bread? Okay.
And none of these places are sponsors.
No.
So if any of you would like to be a sponsor, this show is brought to you by Star Entertainment.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe soon by
All
someone else.
Does anybody prefer to have the end piece?
I don't care.
I don't care either. All good.
Don gets the end piece. Joe?
All right, so this is a meatball from Subway.
Yep. Now, before you bite into it, should we divvy out the meatball from the other one? Because we want to compare the look and stuff?
Sure.
Okay. So, are you going to put this up on the counter or something?
No, I'm just going to set it up here at the front.
Okay. So, Subway's just wrapped in the paper, which does have aluminum foil, tin foil, I don't know what you want to call it, and, it's cut in half too, at an angle, because it's fancier. And then it's wrapped in paper inside that, and then they put all of it inside that plastic bag as well.
Paper bag.
What did I say? Plastic? Yeah, paper bag. All right. So I'm going to unwrap from the paper, even though they cut through the paper, because I have never worked in a food establishment, so I am not that talented. All right, so then this end piece is going to have a little bit more because the meat is not quite all the way to the end. So I want to make sure that whoever gets that end piece, which, Don, you're closest, so you're getting the end piece. Whoops, bumped the microphone. You're actually just getting a little more bread. Joe.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is Which Wich. This is Subway.
Right.
They look a lot different. I will say that.
They do look different. Yes, and it looks like both of them do have marinara. I'm just going to put this on the floor. We'll clean it up later.
Now, I didn't order the Which Wich. You did. Do you remember what kind of bread they have?
It's just white or wheat were your options.
Because I feel like I feel like Subway's is French bread. And if I remember correctly, the Jimmy John's is an Italian bread.
Could be. I don't know. I'd have to look at the website to see for sure.
All right.
So the Which Wich is much larger, and I'm noticing even like on the Which Wich, it's like 2 meatballs deep, where the Subway sandwich is only 1 meatball deep.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it on Joe's too.
I see what you're saying.
Sort of 2 meatball. Oh, the height.
Yeah, so depth.
But I think a lot of that is bread. Here's the thing that you have to remember. At Subway, they cut out of the bread, don't they?
No, they didn't.
Oh, I thought that was a thing that they did.
They don't anymore if they did.
Because see how it sits down in there?
Yeah, I didn't
farther?
see
if you
them.
Open it all the way up, it's...
Maybe. I didn't see them do that, but it could be. But can you see how I have 1 meatball versus 2 meatballs?
Yes.
Wide on the bread kind of thing from where I cut. On this side, there's only 1. So it's
I have 1.5.
Not 2 all the way, but it looks like there might be more meat, is what I'm trying to say, on the Which Wich.
Gotcha.
Even per square inch. Is that a thing?
I'm sure it is.
Is this making any sense to you?
I know what you mean. I don't know how to say what you mean.
Okay. And the meatballs look different, even.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So there's different spices, different type of meat in the meatballs, things that way.
But I think that's going to be pretty typical. I mean, when you and I make meatballs, they're completely different.
Each time we make meatballs, they're completely different, it seems like, yes. So, no, I'm not. I'm trying to describe
the other big
things.
difference is that Which Wich's bread is toasted.
So was Subway's. Subway's, they put the meat on the bread and they toasted everything. I did see them do that.
It does look a little toasted, I guess.
So the bread is technically toasted, but...
Their bread is toasted beforehand.
Correct.
Well, maybe we should be toasted while we eat it then. I don't know.
Bring it on.
I didn't drink yet, so I guess I can't eat it yet.
All right, which one are we trying first? Subway or Which Wich?
I'm going to start with the Subway.
All right, let's try Subway.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Subway makes you drop your meatball.
I dropped mine too. All right. It's very good. Cheesy. I like the tomato sauce. Marinara sauce.
The sauce is good.
The bread is chewy. It's not flaky. It's chewy, which I don't mind.
I think that's because it gets wet from the marinara sauce.
And it could be.
So one thing I would like to point out, and this definitely goes in favor of Subway. Subway, out of the 3 places, is the only one that provided us with napkins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Although, around here, we didn't think Subway delivered, but when I was there, somebody from Grubhub was picking up Subway food, so...
Oh, we probably could have went to Grubhub.
Right. With Which Wich, they actually work with a few different they themselves do not deliver, but they work with some other, whether it's Grubhub or what are some of the other ones around here?
Chomp.
There's also Uber Eats.
Uber Eats and Chomp and Grubhub.
DoorDash.
Anyway,
Postmates.
when you go to the Which Wich site, it says they work with 3 different businesses and it will go through one. It doesn't tell you which one, which I ordered through the Which Wich site. I don't know, did Jimmy John's say anything, or was it Jimmy John's themselves that delivered?
It was Jimmy John's themselves, and it was here freaky fast.
Freaky fast. And that's part of their thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was quick.
Fast.
All right. Wonderful. All right, so then do we compare? You ate all of your Subway ones, so you're not going back to test again.
That would be tough.
So.
It wasn't that big of a piece.
No, it wasn't. That's true.
All right, time for Which Wich.
Yeah. Are we ready for Which Wich? I don't feel like the marinara has as much flavor, like marinara flavor to it, as the Subway one.
I would like to point out that I ate this morning at 10:30, 11 o'clock and haven't eaten. And we film our podcast, record our podcast.
At 7 o'clock at night?
Yeah. So
Yes. I don't think I've eaten either.
I wasn't saying anything about you. I'm just...
You're saying hungry is making it better?
Yeah, well, making me want to eat the whole thing.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm not normally a meatball sub individual, and I feel like I'm a very messy meatball sub individual. So yeah, the marinara doesn't seem to have as much tang flavor
I would agree.
as the Subway one, but the meatballs have more flavor, although I don't know if it's literally that the meatball has more flavor because I couldn't taste Subway's meatball for the marinara.
No. I could taste the meatball from Subway.
Yeah.
And the meatball has a little bit more flavor.
So there's more spices flavor within the meat itself.
But the marinara is pretty bland.
Right.
In my opinion.
And I think I can't tell which one had more cheese. Can anybody else tell which one had more cheese?
No.
I think maybe the Which Wich.
Maybe. And the Which Wich definitely has more meat. Because, I mean, it's a little bit bigger bite, but I had 3 full meatballs in the Which Wich one. Where in the Subway I had, like, 1.5 meatballs.
I'm getting screwed on the meatballs over here. I had 1.5 in the Subway and 1 in the Which Wich.
You want another bite of mine?
No,
there's a whole nother half somewhere too, right? That's because you had the end piece. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
In general, though, this is a sandwich I would eat again. I don't know that I would specifically order it just because it's not one of my go-to sandwiches. Usually if I'm eating at a sub sandwich place, it's because we're kind of on the go somewhere, and this is not an on the go type of sandwich.
Well, it can be. I mean, you can park for 10 minutes and eat a sandwich.
You wouldn't want to drive while you're eating this one. Either of these, probably.
No. And I would even have a hard time, like, sitting in a car eating this, I feel like, because it's going to fall out into your lap. That kind of a thing.
Whereas the club versions of other sandwiches would be a little easier to eat while you're driving. But
Right. Right. Although, we don't really eat at sub sandwiches places very often.
No.
But when we do, you have a go-to at all of them. Are we not talking about that yet? Did I jump ahead? I'll be quiet.
No, wait.
Oh, it was the look on your face.
Didn't know I was going to be called out.
I don't necessarily have a go-to. I do at Subway though.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I like
the
my
Italian Chinese spicy olive oil Thousand Island dressing chicken salad sandwich thing.
the sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
That's what I just said.
that's what I usually get too. I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one. And I noticed when I was picking the stuff up from Subway, they've rebranded a little bit. They've got avocado and stuff that way now that you can put on their sub sandwiches at Subway. It's been a while since we've been at Subway. So that's all new. Not that we put any of it on any of these sandwiches, but that's a little bit different. So,
Well, so you were saying I have a go-to sandwich.
yes, you do have what is your go-to sandwich?
What you tell me? What's my go-to sandwich?
Your go-to.
And it doesn't matter what sub shop we go to.
No, even if it's a brand new sub shop and there's 1,000 options, you will get the tuna salad.
That's right.
Yes.
I like tuna.
Which is part of why we ordered tuna salad.
And so I would like
Tonight.
to go out. I would like to go out on a limb and say, I think people need to back off Subway. I've been eating Subway tuna sandwiches for over 20 years, and it's tuna.
Are they saying it's not?
Yeah, they had a lawsuit. Like they had the whole lawsuit where they said the footlongs weren't really a footlong.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Yes. A couple
Really?
different people have sued them saying that there's no tuna in their tuna sandwich.
Oh.
It's tuna.
Huh, I had not heard that.
I think people don't realize that there's multiple different kinds of tuna.
True. There are multiple different kinds of tuna.
So just because it wasn't chicken of the sea,
Right?
it's still tuna.
It's more of a squirrel of the sea.
Subway's gonna come back and be like,
Don't
you
say
said there
that.
were a squirrel in
Don't
our
say that.
sandwiches.
Jessica Simpson will be like, what? We're eating
What's that?
squirrel?
I thought it was chicken. It's not chicken.
All right, so I've had quite a bit of the Which Wich. I'm going back to the Subway.
Don't fill up. We got a lot of sandwiches to go through here.
I think between the two, since they aren't branded as a marinara, if it was branded as a marinara sandwich, I'd say the Subway, like you guys had more marinara.
The Subway is marinara. It's meatball marinara. Yeah.
But I think the Which Wich has better meatballs.
Right, and it's branded as a meatballer. That's the name of it.
Yeah.
At Which Wich. But I agree. I like the marinara sauce at Subway. I like the meatballs better at Which Wich. I like the bread at Which Wich better than Subway.
Do you like it twice as much better?
No. Cost-wise, no. I would do Subway in a heartbeat on this.
I'm just saying.
Yep.
For less than half the price, the marinara sauce was better. Yes, the meatballs were smaller. You know what? You can double up the meat, and it still doesn't cost
Correct.
as much money.
Correct. Yep, 100%.
And I'm in no way saying the Which Wich sandwich was a bad sandwich. I'm just saying, for my money, for my time, my palate,
right.
Subway.
Yep, I agree. All right, are you going to... I'm still finishing my sandwiches. Do you want to open the next...
Sure.
Whatever it is?
Between the two, I would pair the Subway with a Busch Light, and I would pair the Which Wich with a Chianti.
Oh, there you go.
Think.
Yeah, that's a good...
Just to break that down.
And a Chianti is a what? Is that a wine?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
You're the bartender.
I don't drink wine. I didn't work at a wine bar.
It's a
I
red
worked at
wine.
a bar.
It's a red wine? Okay. As long as we know what we're drinking.
If he said Johnny Walker Blue, I know what he's talking about.
And that might pair well also. I didn't think of that, but that might be a good
It
option.
might.
Maybe some Buffalo Trace.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe...
All right, so now we're comparing...
Doers? I don't know.
This is the tuna salad, so we've
This
got to
is
find
the
the
tuna
tuna
salad.
salad on the others. And I still need to measure the Jimmy John's and double it.
Right.
What do we get from... Jimmy John's obviously doesn't have a meatball sub, so they didn't
Right.
get to participate in the first plate.
So we got a tuna sandwich from them and a club sandwich. So I thought we would start with the
You can
tuna
have
sandwich.
the rest of my Which Wich because I'm going to fill up.
Okay, wait, then you just put it in my way. Can you
I'm
just...
sorry.
Could you, or you can cut this up. How about
I can
that?
cut
I'll
that
open and you cut.
Okay.
So now it's going to be Which Wich tuna.
Mm-hmm.
The Which
Subway
Wich
tuna.
is the bridge because they have tuna from Jimmy John's and Which Wich and Subway. That's the only one that has all three then, right?
Subway have all three.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yep. Subway and Which Wich both.
Gotcha. So this is Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's didn't have a meatball.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I'm cutting up the Which Wich here, tuna salad.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, they don't go all the way to the end. The cheese did, but the meat did not. Not real impressed with that factor.
Which one's this here again? Which Wich?
This is the tuna salad Which Wich, yep. So I'm gonna give that end piece is gonna be a little larger because it's a lot of bread on the end.
All good. Thank you.
Some tuna salad for you. Some tuna salad for you. Go ahead. All right. Oh. There are veggies on this tuna salad.
On that one.
Yeah.
And we just ordered these as they come on the menu. We did not add any
Correct.
vegetables or take any vegetables off. We added we added bacon to one of the clubs so that all three of them had bacon.
I think the Jimmy John's club we had to add bacon to. So that's a little bit of an upcharge. Or was it an upcharge?
Yeah, it was a little bit of an upcharge. But I'm just saying, we ordered them as is. We didn't change them.
Definitely a lot more veggies on
There's no veggies on the
the. Yeah.
Which Wich, right?
Yeah.
All right, and then this is Jimmy John's. And before I cut this, the Jimmy John's is this one's just over 8 inches, so I would say they're 16 inches long.
Right.
So it's 2 inches longer than the Which Wich even.
But this is their giant. This isn't their normal.
No, right.
This is called their giant sandwich.
I think their normal is 8 inches.
Okay.
Or maybe they're... I don't know. All right.
That has similar veggies to the Subway. If you consider cucumber a veggie.
Right.
It's kind of like lettuce. It's crunchy water.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, technically, cucumber and tomato are fruit, right?
Oh,
The
I didn't
lettuce-
know about cucumber. I know tomato is.
The lettuce would be the only thing that's a.
All right.
vegetable.
So I
Cucumber's
have
fruit too.
Which Wich, Subway, and Jimmy John's, right?
Yeah.
So Which Wich is the lighter color bread with no veggies on it. And then the Subway is a little flatter bread, darker bread. The Jimmy John's is a little bit thicker, and the bread is definitely crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside.
Should we do them all at the same time, each one? Like we all do whichever one first?
Well, I would like to point out that both Subway, I mean, you already said that Subway and Jimmy John's have vegetables, but we had to add cheese to the Which one? It didn't come with cheese.
Oh,
Really?
yeah,
It
that's
was
right.
just tuna on bread.
It was
and
just
nothing
tuna on
else?
bread.
Right.
Yeah, and the Subway and the
I mean, you had
Jimmy
the option
John's.
of adding cheese, I think was the thing. Like,
right, the Subway and the Jimmy John's have a lot more actual tuna,
right.
even.
Yes.
So, which one are we starting with?
You guys choose. I don't care.
Which was first on the plate. So we do
Okay.
that.
Rock on. Let's do Which Wich. All right. And we added cheddar cheese to the Which Wich. And my cheddar cheese is not even fully on the sandwich. I'm going to play around with that for a second. Because, if you can't play with your food.
Well, that's tuna salad on a piece of bread.
It is. It's a little sour. The tuna salad is.
I don't know about sour, but it doesn't have a lot of flavor. I mean,
It's not Miracle Whip that's mixed in with that tuna.
it's not bad.
There's no pickle relish in their tuna salad. It's just tuna and mayo. I'm not seeing anything else. I'm not tasting anything different.
Yeah, I'd say you're right. It's not bad.
No. But it's not one that I would rave about necessarily. Again, bread is soft, chewy. It's good bread.
Yeah, there's that one. Looks like something you could throw together at home
Right.
pretty easily.
Right. All right. So Subway next,
Sure. I think
which
that's
is the softer between the two. Definitely a little bit of crunch in there.
Mm-hmm.
I got all veggies, no tuna salad.
The veggies are good on it.
The veggies are very good. Very crisp, very fresh. We're getting the tuna salad. Because you have the veggies with it, the tuna salad wasn't as tart or sour for me.
I think the tunas taste very similar. I mean, the mayonnaise in the two is different.
When I had just the bread and tuna, I don't think I even got cheese in that bite. They're very similar.
So that would be my one complaint, is that in the first bite that I took, it was nothing but vegetables.
Right. And Subway is known for that to a certain extent because the way that they build their sandwich, they have them open and they build and then they try and fold it, and the meat is in the middle of the bread and then the veggies end up on the outside. So as you fold it, then you have veggies towards the outside of your
They're not supposed to. They're
sandwich.
supposed to put a scoop of tuna on and smash it down so it comes across.
They didn't.
I'm seeing that.
Yeah. But when you have meat and stuff that way, I've noticed that it's on one side, not the other kind of thing.
I'm trying to figure out which ocean the tuna came from. What do you think? Atlantic or Pacific?
Arctic.
Could be. I don't know.
I don't believe so. Possibly the Indian Ocean.
Maybe the Indian Ocean. Again,
And would you consider this a true tuna? Like, is this a yellowfin or more of an albacore?
I don't know if I can taste the difference between those, but
Probably if you didn't have the mayonnaise, you would be able to.
yeah. I think it's more of an Albuquerque tuna.
Albuquerque tuna?
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like I'm not sure what cheese. I feel like it's a either white American or provolone or something that's on the Subway. We chose to put cheddar on Which Wich.
Right.
So that gives a little bit of a different flavor. And it looks like Jimmy John's has some sort of white
It's provolone
cheese. So, and the Jimmy John's, again, like the cheese is on one side of the sandwich. It's not wrapped around. It's been folded on top kind of idea. But the veggies are on one side, are kind of throughout the sandwich, I'm seeing. But they don't have the variety of veggies. It looks...
And Jimmy John's has a lot more cheese
Yes.
than the other two sandwiches. I mean, like a lot more.
A lot more
We're
cheese.
moving on to that one now.
Yes.
Jimmy John's time.
And it looks like the Subway had green bell peppers and some red onion, where I'm only seeing tomatoes and cucumbers on the Jimmy John's.
And lettuce.
And lettuce. Sorry, yes. Both had lettuce.
That was a lot of cheese.
They have something different in their tuna salad. They have celery in their tuna salad. I can taste it. It adds crunch to the tuna salad itself. It's not on the sandwich separate.
Does celery really have a taste?
It does.
You can feel it. You can feel the texture
No,
of the celery.
I can taste it. I really can. I know that sounds weird, but it does. It has
you taste crunchy water?
Yes, it has a slight flavor to
It
it.
tastes like celery salt before it was turned into salt.
Right?
I don't know.
So,
This one seems a little more bland to me,
yeah.
I would say, compared to the Subway one. If I had to call it right now, I think the Subway is the best of the three. Oh, the tuna sandwiches. Not that any of them are bad. They're all pretty good.
I think the Jimmy John's tuna salad is a little drier. So it doesn't have quite as much mayo in it, which may be a good thing, especially if you're trying to count calories kind of idea, because the mayo is really where the calories come from in that. In general, I'm not as big a fan of Jimmy John's style bread. I don't care for the crispy outside, soft inside bread. But that's my preference.
I like that kind of bread.
Yeah, you really prefer that kind.
But I have to agree with Joe. I think that the Subway had a lot more flavor.
I don't know if it's because of the veggies or what. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know if it's...
So.
I agree. I don't know if it's the veggies or if it's the mayonnaise that they use.
So I'm going to
that might be different. Like, they might use Miracle Whip, or they might just use a tangier mayonnaise.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think of the three.
It's a tangier mayonnaise. I tried just the tuna salad by itself.
Subway tastes the best.
Yeah, there's a little bit more tang in the mayonnaise. And because there's more of it, you get more tangy flavor than in the Subway. So did we talk pricing on this? We talked size. Pricing was Jimmy John's tuna salad.
It's $15.49.
$15.49. Which again, that's a 16-inch sandwich. So
right.
it's a good size sandwich. Which Wich for a 14-inch sandwich was $12.25. And for Subway, tuna salad was $7.59.
And napkins.
And napkins.
My hunch is that with the Subway being Albuquerque tuna, it didn't come from the ocean, so it has less mercury and plastic in it. It probably tastes better than
It might, yeah.
the other two tunas.
Absolutely.
That's just my guess. Albuquerque makes good tuna. Not bad.
Yeah, I would, again, if I was at a party, this was an option, I'd be fine eating any one of these sandwiches. I'll definitely clean my plate at some point tonight. Which I feel like we may have to take a quick break, and I'm going to have to grab another plate because I can't finish this and try our third sandwich.
I kind of figured that was coming.
But I agree. I think overall winner, Subway.
I think so. I mean, I finished the Subway one first. I think that says quite a bit.
That had red onion on it, I think, didn't it? The
It did.
That helps too.
Yeah.
Red onion, cucumber. The tomatoes were a little fresher, maybe, or seemingly better somehow. Pretty good.
Maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure if there was more tomato. There's definitely more veggies as a whole on the Subway one.
All right. Well, why don't I grab you another plate so we can start cutting up the last sandwich?
Okay. Okay. So that was tuna salad. Then the last one that we ordered was a club sandwich from each of these, which should have turkey, ham, and bacon on it. Cheese, if it came with it.
And then, right, cheese and assorted veggies.
If it came with it, right.
Right. We didn't add any, we didn't take any off.
It's all stock.
Right. Okay. So the Which Wich. Oh, the Which Wich is warm.
Yeah, it was toasted.
Yeah. I bet I probably could have ordered it not to be warm, but I didn't.
I think those are good that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of their default way to do it.
It is. Yeah, I think Which Wich the default is to warm them, toast them in some way. All right.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Switch on the left.
To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. There's your Which Wich. Okay.
Now we got.
Oh, look at all those
Subway.
veggies. This must be Subway.
Red onion giveaway.
Yep. All right.
Perhaps it's Vidalia onion.
But again, you can see, like, whoever kind of made this, when they folded it, there we go.
The sandwich artist was creative.
Yes. Okay. There
There was
you
a lot of
go.
horrible noise right in the microphone.
Subway.
Sorry about that.
May have to mute that one.
All right, and then this is Jimmy John's. Oh, and there's veggies in there. Okay, I didn't think it had any veggies.
Yeah, I didn't order the slim.
All good.
That's the Robusto. Full on loaded.
I think it's just their regular.
Ah.
But I think they have one that's called a slim that has no veggies. It's just the meat and cheese.
Gotcha.
Okay, there you
All
go.
right, so this is
That's Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's. Okay, so I have Jimmy John's, Subway's in the middle, and then Which Wich. So before, well, nope, Don's gonna eat right away. Oh, you're still eating your meatball one. I gotcha. Okay. So
I'm pretty sure this is your meatball one.
It is my meatball one. That's totally fine. So looking at the side of these, when I'm looking at them, oh, you can't see that side. So looking at this side, you can see lots of meat, cheese, lettuce, bacon. Not seeing any tomato or anything on this one. And this is from Jimmy John's. And then from Subway, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, red onion. Not seeing any cucumber, but there could be in there somewhere. Nope, I don't think so. Already dropped one of my tomatoes. And then on the Which Wich, meat, cheese, lettuce, tomato, and that's all I'm seeing.
Well, I'm pretty sure all three sandwiches have mayonnaise on them.
It could be, yes.
Yeah, the Jimmy John's is a lot of extra bread, isn't it? When you look at it from the side like that.
Yeah. The bread is really thick.
Thick bread.
And then, and I don't know if that's because it is actually thicker. I mean, it is thicker, but I wonder too if sometimes the other two don't get squished down because they're not hard.
Yeah.
Outer bread. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So it might be that these that end up becoming more dense.
Yeah.
The Which Wich and the Subway become more dense, where the Jimmy John's stays a little poofier because it has the hard outer shell.
All right. So which one are we starting with?
Did we start with Which Wich on the others?
Yeah, I think so.
Should we start with Which
Start
Wich
that.
again?
Sure.
Okay.
Which first?
And Which Wich was toasted, so it's going to have a little bit different.
Well, without any other reference points, it's good so far.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely taste the bacon on the Which Wich. I feel like the toasting of it melded the flavors together more.
Melts the cheese.
And like the veggies don't have as crispness to it and stuff because they've been warmed up. Even if they weren't toasted with the sandwich by the time we got it here and ate it, the veggies are warm on the sandwich.
I think it was toasted. I think it was made and then toasted because the bread is not toasted on the inside.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of the Which Wich Club.
No, I bet if it
The
was
Club
not.
Wich.
I bet if it was not toasted, I would like it a lot better. I don't like the fact that all of the flavors, like it makes the mayonnaise runny,
Right.
and it runs all over the place, so you don't get an individual flavor of each of the things.
Right.
Like you said, it's all melded together.
Right.
I didn't want goulash. I wanted a sandwich.
Right. Yes. That's kind of. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, you may be able to choose to not have it toasted.
Right.
I might have missed that when I ordered it because I just ordered it and said put it to cart and I didn't change anything on it at all.
Yeah,
So-
I had never been to Which Wich. These are the first Which Wich sandwiches I have ever had in my life.
And I can say, actually, when I ordered and I saw the tuna salad, as I went down, I saw that the tuna salad was supposed to be toasted, and I chose not to have it toasted.
Smart girl.
Because I know that you don't like your tuna salad toasted.
Right.
So-
I like toast.
Right.
With tuna salad, but I don't like.
Right. You don't like warm tuna salad.
No.
So, okay.
Yeah, I'm not like a tuna melt person or.
No, I am.
I know.
I like tuna melts, but you're not so much. Okay.
On to Subway.
On to Subway. Those veggies really bring out a lot of flavor. But I didn't hardly taste any of the meats. All I get is veggies.
The Subway Club makes me want to be a better man.
Yeah,
Does the Subway Club have bacon?
it should.
I'm not noticing
There's-
any bacon.
Yeah, does yours have bacon? I'm not noticing any bacon.
It's like just ham turkey.
I had a bite of bacon. I can taste it. Here, I'm opening up. It's Canadian bacon instead of bacon.
Oh,
Well, that's not bacon.
I think is the difference. So it's a little bit.
or it's just not crispy.
No, it's not crispy. It's soft. So it's the flavor, not the crunch.
Well, but when you cook bacon to where it's crispy, it has more flavor.
Okay. I don't even know what the difference between regular bacon and Canadian bacon is.
Canadian
That's
bacon's
not
soft.
Canadian bacon.
This isn't?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's just
Regular bacon that's soggy.
right.
Soft, not soggy. Okay. And our puppies are.
Canadian bacon is
playing
really
in
just
their
like
kennel.
ham, right?
Yeah, it is slightly different.
It's probably smoked or something. It's like smoked ham.
Like back bacon is different than the regular bacon that we
Right.
buy at the store.
Right.
Yes, the puppies really wanted to be part of the podcast.
Yeah, they're playing over there.
All right, are we moving on to Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's. Now, Jimmy John's, I feel like, has the most meat out of all
so
of the sandwiches.
even though you were saying that it has a lot more bread, it has way more meat.
Yeah,
But I'm not seeing any other vegetables other than lettuce.
Yep, only lettuce on this one.
And tomato underneath.
Is there tomato?
Mine has one.
Oh, yep, there
Oh.
it is
Yep, I do
on
too.
the bottom.
And some bacon. Has actual bacon.
Yep.
There I can actually taste the different cold cut meats. And the cheese even. You can get all of the flavors of the different meats and cheese. The veggies don't overpower it. Or with Subway, I feel like the veggies overpowered the meat. But I like veggies, so I'm not complaining about the Subway one.
I don't know.
But-
I was surprised. I thought the Subway one was bland.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even with the veggies, I didn't get a lot of flavor out of it.
I didn't see any or taste any mayo or anything that way on it. There could have been. I just didn't taste it myself.
The Jimmy John's tastes more like what I would make at home. If I wanted to have a sandwich or what, a Dagwood, I would go to the store, buy a loaf of Italian or French bread, bunch of different meats, some vegetables, different cheeses, and I would stack it's going to be so big I can barely get it in my mouth.
Right.
Right? And that's what this tastes like. Like you said, you can taste the ham, you can taste the turkey, you can taste the cheese, you can taste the bacon.
Yep. Flavor-wise, Jimmy John's wins out on this round for me. I'm just not a fan of their bread.
I like the bread. I'm giving this one two tongues up.
2 tongues?
2 tongues straight up. Kind of a toss-up to me between the Jimmy John's and the Subway, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, maybe even all 3. They're all good in different ways on this one. I don't know.
Well, and you said that you kind of liked club sandwiches warmed up.
Yeah, I tend to like most things warmed up.
Yeah?
Yeah, I guess, more than cold food. Not a fan of picnic food. Like
Gotcha.
anything that would be better hot, you serve it cold with mayonnaise. Never like it as much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We have learned something new today.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
So when Joe comes and we're doing sushi, preheat it,
No,
serve it with mayonnaise.
no, not mayonnaise.
No mayonnaise. No mayonnaise for Joe.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, the Subway one, I liked way better than the Which Wich.
Would you go out of your way to order from Jimmy John's over a Subway? Like, would you go drive farther?
If I was really craving a club sandwich, probably.
Yeah? Okay.
I would.
I think I probably would too. And I don't know if Jimmy John's has like a wrap.
They do.
So I would put this on a wrap. Because Subway has a wrap. I would, but yeah. I like Subway's, I don't remember what bread it is. It has cheese melted on it.
I don't know.
I can't remember what it's called.
But when you go back to the price
Yes.
and the difference in the sandwiches,
So, Which Wich Tuna Salad. No, Club Wich. The Which Wich Club Wich Club Sandwich is $14.75. It's the most expensive sandwich.
well, right,
Out
because
of
it
the
has
3?
bacon.
Sure,
2
but
meats, cheese, bacon.
there's way more meat in the meatballer.
Yeah.
And it's 60 cents cheaper? 30 cents cheaper.
Well,
I could do
you're
math.
assuming that that's meat in the meatballer, but yes, there's more of it.
True
More
story.
Stuff.
There's more stuff? Sure. So yeah, Which Wich was $14.75. Jimmy John's was $15.49, so it was more expensive. But again, 2 inches longer yet
Than the Which Wich.
than the Which Wich. So, and then Subway was $8.69.
Right. So it's 4 inches longer than the Subway.
Right.
But I feel like it has twice as much meat.
I think it does too.
I mean, if I'm just in a hurry to get sandwiches, like if we're buying sandwiches for the family,
Right.
kind of thing, I'm feeling like Subway wins out on, nothing.
Yeah.
All of it tasted good.
Right.
They have good variety.
Right.
The price for how much food you get is
Right.
great.
Right.
Again, the fact that there's napkins in the bag, I mean, little things,
Yes.
especially if you're charging $14 or $15 for a sandwich and having it delivered and you can't put napkins in the bag.
Right. Right. Both Jimmy John's and Which Wich did not do that, and they were delivered. And we didn't include the delivery fees and stuff like that, taxes
right.
or any of that. This is the straight price from the websites here in the Iowa City. So in general, from Which Wich, of their 3 sandwiches, could you say which of those 3, like if you were with a group and they're all going to go to Which Wich, so you had these 3 sandwiches, which of the 3 would you choose?
Meatball all day long for me.
All right, same.
Of those 3. They were the best at that, I think.
Yeah. I might do the club.
If the club wasn't toasted, I would do the club.
Right. I would do the club and not
sandwiches the
toast
way
it.
they were, meatball.
Right. I think I would do the club and not toast it. But their meatball was okay, but it wasn't great for me. Let's do Jimmy John's next. Of the 3. Or of the 2. We only had 2 from Jimmy John's. So tuna salad or the club sandwich?
Club, I guess. Of those. Would be my take.
Now I can't remember which.
So this...
Wasn't Jimmy John's tuna sandwich the one that you said you could taste the celery in?
Yes. I believe so.
I'd go with the tuna.
Yeah. Okay. And I think I would go with the club from Jimmy John's. And then, did I say for Which Wich what I would do? I did. And then from Subway?
Tuna.
Same, yeah.
I would do the meatball marinara from Subway. Of those 3.
Oh.
I like tuna better.
Right. No, yeah, I get it.
Which Wich's tuna there was nothing there, but tuna, I mean, we had to add the cheese, so it was just tuna and bread.
And I want to add mayo to it. For Which Wich's. It was very dry. So, it was more like canned tuna with a little mayo, not really tuna salad for me on Which Wich. But, and again, I have a tendency I can make tuna salad at home really easily, so I'm not one to, I always have those things on hand. I'm less apt to order that when I'm out.
I can make it too when I make tuna salad.
No, I know. It's part of...
I can make a ham sandwich at home too.
Well, that's a whole other podcast on the psychological reasons as to why I don't order tuna salad when I'm out.
I like tuna salad, and I like to try it different places to see,
right?
What it's like.
No, I get it. I think it's. I remember even from when I was really little, when we would go out to eat places, my parents would be like, "Order something that you're not gonna have at home."
Oh.
Order something that we don't make at home. See. So then that way, tuna salad was something that we always had at home. Gotcha. Not always. It wasn't like it was always in the fridge, but often enough. Common. And when I was younger and I could stay home alone yet over the summer kind of thing, so I was, 8, 9, there were times that Mom would call and be like, make tuna salad for lunch. It was something I could easily make myself from the time I was really young.
No, I get it. When we go out, I tend to order a breaded tenderloin.
Right.
Because I'm not going to make one at home.
Correct. Right. Yeah. I'm going to order a Reuben a lot of times when we go places because we'll never have that here since you don't like anything that's on a Reuben.
Correct. We don't even have those ingredients in the house.
Exactly.
Reubens are evil. I agree.
So, yeah.
So, I mean, all in all, none of the sandwiches were bad.
No, they were all very good.
If somebody was like, hey, I got a tuna sandwich from Which Wich, I wouldn't be like, nope, none for me, I'm passing. It was fine.
Right.
Of the 3, I liked Subway better. I think Subway, overall, price, value, the food you got, good flavor with all of the sandwiches.
Yeah, I would choose Subway over all of them except the Country Club from Jimmy John's. I like the club sandwich from Jimmy John's better, but I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way to go to a Jimmy John's over a Subway. Like, I wouldn't drive farther. I wouldn't, but I wouldn't go the other direction either. Where, for different sandwiches, I probably would. Like tuna salad, I would. Kind of thing.
So, hopefully that was clear.
No, it wasn't.
As mud.
But exactly, clear as mud. That's the way I teach. But yeah, in general, Subway is the overall winner for me. You?
Oh, well, I don't know. It'd be hard to pick. Overall winner of these 3?
Yeah.
I suppose Subway.
Yeah, I'm going with the price.
Right.
The amount of food that you're getting for price, and then pretty good flavor on all 3 sandwiches.
Right.
I'd have to go to Subway. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we eat at Jimmy John's quite a bit, and there are other sandwich places that we eat at. But Subway gets my vote.
Yeah. Absolutely. Congratulations, Subway.
So, for whatever that's worth, I mean, for, all 6 of the people that are going to view this,
right?
We recommend Subway. And if Subway's listening and you want to sponsor a local podcast,
rock
if you need a boost in sales around here,
All right. Well, shall we move on to other things?
Yeah, I suppose we should wrap it up.
All
so
right.
you can check us out on all the social medias.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
At your local Subway shop.
And our website will just lead you to our social media stuff, basically, at this point. I don't know what else we have going on.
So again, we're Morrison Madness. Thank you, Joe, for being on our
thanks,
podcast
Joe.
tonight.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here. It's fun.
All right. We will see you next time. Thanks for joining us.